Aloha. Welcome to our online group administration session for enrolling a newly eligible employee. When you go to the portal, log in with your username and password. Then you will go to the enrollment link, select Perform Enrollment. And if you are one of our users who administer multiple groups, please be sure that you select the correct group for the enrollment you are processing. Then you select Assume Client and Group. To enroll, select Social Security number, input the member's Social Security number, their date of birth. Employee begin date would be their date of hire, and the effective date would be the coverage effective date, and go. Then you will fill in all the fields with an asterisk. A red asterisk is a required field, so be sure that you complete the fields as requested. Member status will always be active. The residence address is the same as the mailing address. Employment status will be if you are an ALE group that uses the ALE hire rule. If this is a new hire, for most, we'll be selecting new hire. Or if this is an enrollment for an employee who just began working 20 plus hours. Make sure you select the appropriate division that this member should be enrolled into. If you require a group listing of what each location represents for you, you can reach out to your account manager for more information. If you know whether the member has Medicare or not, you are welcome to input it here. Otherwise, you can say no Medicare if you don't know. Our bracket code is equivalent to the plans or the products that you will be enrolling your employee into. Our brackets are set up where the first set of numbers is your medical plan. If you notice, there's an underscore. The second set of numbers would be your dental plan if you have dental. The third set is your vision plan if you offer vision. The fourth would be your prescription plan. In this field here, if you offered life as a benefit for your employees, this would show as a number 1. And then finally, if you offered the gym membership for all your employees, which is the employee sponsored membership, this would be as a 1. Otherwise, everyone is eligible for the Active and Fit Direct. If you have questions on that benefit, please reach out to your account manager. Once you select your bracket, you can save and continue. If this employee had additional dependents and you're enrolling them, if you have dependents that you would like to enroll, you would fill in the dependent information section. If there is no dependents to enroll, you would select I do not have any dependents, hit save and continue, and move to the plan election section. In this section, every plan that appears on the screen, you will need to select. You can click on the plan number, and this will bring up the name of the plan that you are selecting. If you have chosen the incorrect plan, you can go back, and in here, you will need to select the appropriate coverage level. For this example, we're only enrolling the employee, so this would be a member only. If you were enrolling the employee with a dependent child, you would select member and one dependent. If you were enrolling this employee with just their spouse, it would be member and spouse. If you were enrolling this employee with two or more dependents, whether they're children or a spouse and a child, you would select family. Save and continue. This will take you to the review section where you can review the enrollment. If there's anything that you see is incorrect, you can edit it at this point. If everything looks accurate, you will put your first name and last name and submit your request. To perform another enrollment, you would simply go back to perform enrollment. If you would like to have a copy of this transaction for your record, you could select print and print out a copy for your record to keep on file. We will now process or perform an enrollment for a newly eligible employee who is also enrolling dependents. So to perform a new enrollment request, select perform enrollment. If the enrollment you are performing is for the other company that you manage, you will have to go back to the home screen, select resume own role, and then choose the other client or group that you are going to be processing the enrollment for. And then once again, you would select Social Security number, date of birth, date of hire, the effective date of coverage. Again, every field with a red asterisk is a required field to be completed. Member status is always active. Residence or mail, which is equivalent to the mailing address. This address is where any correspondence from HMAA would be sent to. You can input the zip code, and we only always use the first 5. Hit tab, and it'll auto-populate the fields for you. Although employment status does not have a red asterisk, selecting the correct employment status will ensure that the enrollment is processed timely. If you are a group that utilizes ALE hire rules, you would select ALE hire. If this is for an employee who just began working 20 plus hours, you would select this employment status. A new hire, again, is just a newly eligible employee who has met the qualifications for prepaid. Again, be sure you select the appropriate division. In this client, there is only one division. Department is not a field that we offer, so it just shows select. And then again, Medicare. If you know they have Medicare, you're welcome to select the appropriate. If you don't know, just say no Medicare. And again, our brackets. As you can see in this group, we are set up with multiple product offerings. So again, please be sure when enrolling that you select the correct combinations. And again, the first set of numbers before the underscore is the medical plan number. Your second set of numbers will be your dental. The third will be vision. In the fourth position is your prescription. If your company offered life, there would be a 1 here. And if your company offered the employee-sponsored gym benefit, there would be a 1 here. Once you select your bracket, you would say save and continue. And to add dependent, you would just continue filling out the dependent information section. Under relationship code, the options we have is child, your life partner, or your spouse. For this example, I'm choosing child. Dependent status. The options for dependent status is active. If you have a dependent who is over the age of 26 and has been deemed eligible to continue to be on your plan, you would select our disabled status. Address will automatically populate for your child or your dependent. If your dependent is a child over the age of 18 and they live at a different address, you would just input that mailing address here for that dependent child. Save and continue. If you have additional dependents to enroll, select Add Dependent, and then you would fill in your next dependent information. Import the dependent Social Security number. Once you've completed this section, you would save. And now you see that there is 2 dependents. I realized that I did not input the Social Security number for dependent number 1. So I'm going to select dependent number 1 so that I can edit the record and save. Once you have enrolled all your dependents, you would select save and continue. And again, for all plans that is showing on this screen, you'll need to select the circle box and again, select the correct coverage level. In this case, we have a spouse and a dependent child, so we will be selecting family. Save and continue. Review your enrollment. This shows the dependents that will be being enrolled with you and their information. If you input the date of birth wrong or if you selected the wrong relationship type, this is where you could go in and edit your information for your dependent. So you would go back and select the dependent you need to correct. Once that's done, you would hit save and go back to complete your review. In this section, it's letting you know that you are enrolling this employee and his family into this medical plan, and these are the dependents he's enrolling as well as himself. Once completed, you would sign your first name, last name, and submit request. Once you have completed your enrollment, you can go back to this screen to review your pending requests. So for this group that you were assuming and processing, you have this one employee record. You can go back to the other group that you processed your enrollment for. Your hire is here. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your account managers. Aloha.